Hello, sir. I'm going to make you an interview with a few questions.
Okay.
And this is going to be for applying of a job, so pay so much attention. Can you tell me your full name?
My full name is Kevin Sanchez Leones.
How do you spell your surname?
Sanchec.
C. The last one, the last letter of the alphabet? C? Alright.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Well, I was born in the United States, but then I moved here to Mexico, Tamaulipas, when I was 3 years old.
What do you like most about your hometown?
I don't know. I mean, I think the food is nice. There's a lot of different kinds of food that are really delicious. But what I like the most is the people I know here, my family, my friends.
What is your job?
Right now, I don't have a job, but I go on vacations to work with my uncle, building houses and putting signs.
What are you studying? I don't. What exactly does your job involve?
I go to places, different locations, and I have to put. I don't know what's the name in English, but in Spanish they're called cabrillas. There are these giant pieces of wood that are for the houses, and I have to put them on top of the house.
What made you decide on this kind of job?
Well, because right now I don't know how to make anything academic. I don't know how to work in an office or whatever. So this is all just handmade. So it's okay for me.
How do you use English in your job?
Well, I work in the United States with my uncle, so everyone there speaks English. So I need to know how to speak English to communicate.
What are you studying?
Right now, I'm studying the Tec de Monterrey, and I'm studying the mechatronics engineering.
All right. Describe what your studies consist of.
Well, it consists of subjects like mathematics, physics, electronics.
Talk about your plans, ambitions for the future.
Subjects like plans or ambitions for the future. I just know that I want to study this career and I want to finish, and like everyone else, I want to have a good job, house, family. I don't know.
Say what you like or dislike about your studies.
Well, what I like is that we have a lot of laboratories everywhere, like here in CCI or there in the Aulas 3, and you can use a lot of different machines and do a lot of projects. What I don't like is that it's taking too long to use them.
How important is English in your studies?
Really important because, well, I have now this class called business communication, and I need to know how to speak English to get my level B2 in English and pass the subject.
How important do you think English will be in your future?
Really important because everyone speaks English. You need it for your job. If you want to travel, it's something essential.
What do you like to be doing in, I say, 10 years?
I think I would like to be living in the United States, take my mom and my brother with me, have a job, my own house, and I don't know, maybe I'll be having more plans of what am I gonna do.
This interview was presented by Cookies.
Hello, sir. I'm glad you came to the interview. So I want to start asking, can you tell me your full name?
Yeah, of course. My full name is Ruben Omar Rosarios.
And how do you spell your surname?
It's R-O-S-S-E.
Okay. And where are you from?
Well, I'm from Ciudad Victoria, Tamaulipas. I moved a while ago, and it's the hottest city in Tamaulipas.
Okay. What do you like the most about your hometown?
Well, there are some corns there that are so good. It's the trolley is out of this world.
Oh. Do you have a job?
Actually, I don't have a job, but I'm searching for one. Like in a week and a half, I'm going to have it.
And what does this job will involve?
This job will involve taking care of animals, selling them, and making them at home.
That sounds nice. And what made you decide on this kind of job?
What?
What made you decide on this kind of job?
Well, I decided for a few reasons, and the only reason apparently, because I pretty like all the type of animals. I want to help them.
Mm. And how do you use English in your job?
Actually, I fill some forms to have more animals and exploring some other significant products, just like the United States products that come from food, water, and taking care of the skin, those products.
Okay. And so, are you studying right now?
Yes, I'm studying in the Tecnológico de Monterrey, and I'm studying for mechatronic.
Okay. And what does these studies consist of?
Mostly they consist of physics, mathematics, English, a lot of English apparently.
Mm. I- Okay. And what about your ambitions for the future?
I'm a simple person. I don't really have ambitions for my future, but the only thing I expect is I have animals.
And what do you like or dislike about your studies?
Well, I like about my studies that I can implement some other mathematics in other type of classes, and I don't really like the way it's handled here because Semanai was a mess.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. And how important is English in your studies?
English in my studies have been most importantly because first of all, English is the number one language in all the world. Everyone talks it, and it's going to help me to have a job later and get out of the city, my country. Maybe I can go to the United States to work.
Hmm. And how important do you think English will be for you in the future?
I already said it, but in the future it's going to be work, traveling, and other kind of stuff. Maybe someone in Europe I can talk English there too.
Talking about the future, what would you like to be doing in, I don't know, say 10 years?
In 10 years I would like to be sitting, laying down, and not paying attention to anyone.
Yes, I want. Okay. Test ability, pronunciation and intonation. Letter A. This is the latest version of the plan. B. These are the minutes of the last committee meeting. C. Sales have risen faster than expected over the last quarter. D. I will give you a summary of the figures at the end of my talk. E. Mr. Bond apologizes for not being able to attend the reception. F. Permission to develop the land must be gained in advance. G. Clark would like to phone her back before 3 o'clock. H. The design should follow the guidelines set out in the tender specification. And that's it.
Okay, reading 3 out loud. This is the latest version of the plan. These are the minutes of the last committee meeting. Sales have been rising faster than expected over the last quarter. I will give you a summary of the figures at the end of my talk. Mr. Bond apologizes for not being able to attend the reception. Permission to develop the last must be gained in advance. Clark will be like to phone her back before 3 o'clock. The design shall follow the guidelines set out in the tender specification.
Okay, my name is Kevin Sanchez Briones, and I'm going to talk about how to prepare for a job interview. First of all, it is actually important how do you look. You need to go with formal clothes, have a good hairstyle, take a shower, you have to look well. Because it's not only what you say or how you say it, it's also how you look. Another way to prepare for your job interview is by practicing. You have to practice in front of a mirror or with people. You need to know what you're gonna say, but don't memorize it. You have to keep only the main idea so you can expose it correctly. Also, the body language. Body language is really important when you're saying something, when you're making a presentation or whatever, an interview. It's not what you say is not as important as how you say it. So you need to move your hands, you need to be sure of what you're saying.
Hello, my name is Ruben. I'm going to talk about my job, my midway job, and I used to work in mil mascotas, so I can talk about all of that types. I worked there because I needed money and I wanted to have a closer look to animals. And sometimes it was hard, but because there was 8 hours straight, like 5 days in a week, and I started to worrying about everything, and all the types of that I have managed have me very concerned about what the animals have been treated for, because where I work they weren't treated that well, and I was straight for a half year there, and I got a lot of knowledge from animals, taking care of them, the food they like, the food that they dislike, the toxicity of the other foods, etc. Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm going to present about Petco in the last 3 years, since 2005 to 2007, and the exportations in all three types of countries, Japan, Canada, and Brazil. In 2005, the percentage of the exportations was mostly to Japan with 75%, Canada with 50%, and Brazil to 10%. And it has been developed until 2006 that Japan dropped to 55%, Canada stayed the same with 50%, and Brazil increased the triple with 30%. In 2007, Japan dropped again 5%, that led him to 50%. Brazil increased 10%, which was left in 25% at the end. And Canada decreased 5%, that stayed in 55%.
I would like to show you the next graph. Here you can see the comparison between Japan, Canada, and Brazil exportations. This pie chart shows that during the year of 2005, Japan had 75% of the total exportations, which makes it the highest. Canada has a smaller percentage, 15%, followed by Brazil with only 10%. But in 2006, Japan dropped to 55%, and while Canada stayed the same, Brazil numbers came up to 30%. Finally, in 2007, as you can see from this graph, Japan got half of the exportations, while Brazil and Canada got a quarter.